Hello and welcome to the Tarkis Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be showcasing Ars Notoria. I've done a video, actually two videos, where I included this game in those videos. But today's video is about my satisfaction level with the amount of time the developers are taking out of their day to answer people's questions on their Discord channel. So they're currently active in answering really complex, detailed questions on how this game is going to work. And just like a drum, bump, bump, on cue, they just give us a detailed explanation for that. I'm like, wow, that's ingenious. Not the fact that they're answering questions timely, but the fact being is their answers are including ingenious mechanics around their game. And I'm thinking to myself, really, they're able to do this? Like one feature I was reading about, so you can build houses in this game and forts and castles. You can just build whatever you want in this game. They've also included basement cutouts. So they're going to have like a mechanism that allows you actually to put a subfloor in the building. And I don't know. I didn't ask the question is, could I just do an entire cave dwelling where I put the basement in and then I have a stairway that goes in and then I cap the top and then I put another basement next to it, then another basement next to it, and it's just an underground layer? That would be cool, but based on what I read, you'll be able to do basements in this game. They're not going to have you won't have the ability to change the terrain, because that was a question that someone had. Can you actually physically change the terrain? I guess the basement function is kind of like that, but it's not like Minecraft where you're going to go up to the wall and start digging a path through the terrain. I don't believe that is what their intent is for this game, but they have given some really robust building mechanics around what you can build from your home, castle, base, whatever you want to call it, lair. I'm really excited about this game. Now, it's not coming out for a little while. It says release date 2023, and I think February or March. I think they're opening it up for testing, like an alpha, beta testing. And I've been on their Discord saying, "Look, guys, right here." I'll test the heck out of it, because that's what I like to do. That's what I used to get paid to do when back in the day. I like systematically looking at video games and not looking at it for what the video game visually is offering me. I'm looking at it with zeros and ones in my head. Like, okay, how is that? Regardless of what that monster or mob looks like to me, it's a generated code. It's somewhere in its design, somebody coded that monster's AI. And what it does, how it moves, or what it looks like doesn't matter to me. What it actually does in the game and how it relates to me as a character and how that relationship works. Is it smooth? Does it feel clunky? Do I get lag? Do I get frame rate drops? That is what you're testing for. And I know a lot of people go into these beta testings to just understand the game, because it's their free way of playing the game without paying for the game. And then they know if they want to pay for the game when it comes out. And there's a lot of people, I have many friends with this game, that's what they're going to do. Is they're not really going at it at a logical mind. They're going at it as, I need to figure out the best way to play this game, and I need to figure it out quick, because when it drops, I have a leg up, or I have a better understanding and how efficient I can be with the game. Now, I know the game is not PvP. That element, I don't believe is in the game. It's a PvE experience that allows you, they're saying up to 8 people. They're not going to have dedicated servers right off the bat. So what you'll have to do when you first get the game is you'll have to invite Steam friends to come over to your box and test. What I'm hoping to do is just find some other testers on Discord that want to get together and test that portion of it, because there's a big difference between testing. I might as well have some nice game footage up instead of you just looking at verbiage. So we'll look at that. So there's a big difference between testing by yourself on a local game and testing with other people on the environment. Because like human beings, we are all unique in what we think. And what I think makes me me. And if I've got 7 other people on the platform being them, then we could figure out what might be wrong with the game. And that's how I look at it. I look at, when it comes to testing a video game, that's how I look at it, is I want to make sure that when the game releases, it has as little to no big issues as possible. Every game's going to have bugs. There is, even the human brain has bugs. I mean, it's the most complex computer that we know about, right? I mean, it's a chemical computer, and even it has glitches. So it's the most complicated thing we have. So when it comes to video games, we're at the level of baby steps when it comes to computer technology, really, if you compare it to the human brain. So games are always going to have bugs. Developers are always going to be looking for that gremlin. There's nothing you ever can do about it. But what happens in games, either the dev comes forward and says, look, I can't fix that gremlin. I'm sorry. It's just going to be what it is. And the player base either deals with it or they don't. Or they say, we're systematically trying to whack that goblin on the head, but it just keeps on dodging us every time we fix this. That gremlin dodges us and goes somewhere else, and it just becomes a problem in the game. But as long as the developer is saying, yeah, we're still chasing that wrangler down, we're trying to figure out what is causing that. Now, great, and I believe this developer will do that because they're on their Discord every single day answering questions for people and basically trying to get buzz for their game. And every answer that they've given, they had one answer I kind of was like on the fence with, but that's just Tarkis and his play style, but that didn't matter. That's not going to affect the core game. But mostly everything that they have come back with is like, really, you added that to your game? I mean it's impressive. It's really impressive. And I don't think it's like, buy my game, I'm going to get your money, and I'm going to run to the hills and then drop my game off Steam. Because when you look at the videos and you look at what they're doing on Steam, I even asked them for game on Discord, not Steam, but even on Steam. You can go to Steam and go to Community Hub and go to discussions. But I asked them some real detailed things based on my computer knowledge and how video games are developed today. And when they answered, it was like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. And I'm thinking to myself, and I've done this a long time. Either I'm getting so old that I don't remember what I forgot, or I just never knew, or the game industry has moved so quickly beyond when I used to kind of be hands-on with it. But they're answering the questions in a way that a computer guy like me is saying, that's how I mean, it's like the Rodney McKay, on Stargate Atlantis, the Rodney McKay of the worlds, where either the smartest guy in the room. Sometimes I feel that way, and I know that's arrogant of me, but I have those aha moments when somebody outthinks me and outperforms what my mind is saying to me, and I'm like, boom. It's like, and I've had those moments on their Discord channel. I was like, boom. And then I go to Google and I try to look up whatever code it's like, that's how deep I get into these things. I'm like, well, how are they doing that? So here we are. There's not a lot of things going on their discussion page, but it's not out yet. It's not in the alpha beta testing yet, but I really wanted to plug it. It's definitely a game I'm going to be playing when it comes out. And again, it's an action. You can see by the pictures, you'll be fighting monsters. It's action packed, and you're going to be, I think what they said, it's going to be kind of like like a Souls kind of play style where, it's going to be kind of hard. It's going to be hard. I believe the game is going to be challenging, which is great. And they've balanced it up to 4 players. So basically, if you go on adventures and you take 3 buddies with you and you go to that adventure, and the adventure is going to be balanced. But if you show up with 10 guys with you or 8 guys with you, then that encounter might not be balanced, and you might be just walking over things. But with that said, they might have hard mode mechanics later on where they're like, okay, you want to do that, Tarkis? You want to wipe that boss out in 3 seconds? Here's a hard mode for you. And then, boom, you're not taking it out in 3 seconds. It's taking you half a day to kill the thing. And then, those are the kinds of things, which will get flushed out as the game is released. Because if you find that it's more enjoyable to play with 8 people, then the game developer is going to say, okay, let's make it so that it's 8 people, or let's make it a mode where you got 4-player mode, you got 8-player mode, you got 1-player mode, and they kind of figure that out. And this way, those people who want to play with a larger group can polish their style and be able to be challenged in the game. All right, well, I just wanted to plug this one more time. I'm hoping to see you all here. I've wish listed it. It's in my wish list. I just want to close this video about my wish list. I have removed a couple games from that list after doing some research and playing demos, and I'm going to be doing a future video on that, talking about the demos I have played, which kind of forced me to remove it. And it's not because those games were bad or designed poorly, they were just not my cup of tea. But I'll be doing that in a future video. Well, thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkis Zone.